questions which have come from this topic. First question which has come many times is the gluteus maximus muscle, which has given as an essay question once, and also it has been given as the short notes question. And the second thing is gluteus medius and minimus has come as a short notes questions for you many times. And the third question which has come is the structures under the cover of gluteal region. Even that has come as an essay question for you in the MBBS. And the fourth thing is the greater trochanter. Even that has come as a 2 marks question for you. So this many questions have come for you in the topic, from this topic, right? So first we'll see what are the things you see here in the gluteal region. What are the things? See the skin, and you see these are the surface markings. This is the L3 spine, and what is this one? This is the tip of the greater trochanter and the ischial tuberosity. And I'm not going to deal with this now because surface marking is a special. There will be a special class on this. And the second thing is in the gluteal region, the ligaments which you come across is what is this ligament? The sacrotuberous ligament, which is extending from the sacrum to the ischial tuberosity, and the sacrospinous ligament extending from the sacrum to the ischial spine, and the dorsal sacroiliac ligaments, which cannot be seen in this diagram. But these are the two very important ligaments. One is the sacrotuberous ligament, which is extending from the sacrum to the ischial tuberosity, and the sacrospinous ligament, which is extending from the sacrum to the ischial spine. And you can see here, when we are studying the hip bone, you have seen here, what is this one? This is the greater sciatic notch. And what is this one? This is the lesser sciatic notch. The greater sciatic notch and the lesser sciatic notch are converted into greater sciatic foramen and lesser sciatic foramen by these two ligaments. So what are these ligaments? The sacrotuberous ligament and the sacrospinous ligament. This is the sacrospinous ligament, which are converting the greater sciatic notch and the lesser sciatic notch into greater sciatic foramen and the lesser sciatic foramen, right? So this is about the ligaments. And then the cutaneous nerve supply, you can read it from your textbook. So I'll start with the muscles of the gluteal region. So what are the muscles? So when we are studying the hip bone, we have already studied about the muscles which are attached to the gluteal surface of the ilium, right? So one by one we will study. The first and foremost muscle which you see here is the gluteus maximus muscle. What is this muscle here? The gluteus maximus muscle. Right. So the gluteus maximus muscle, where is the origin? From the posterior aspect of the iliac crest, and also from the posterior aspect of the ilium, behind the posterior gluteal line, and from the dorsal aspect of the sacrum, and also from the sacrotuberous ligament. Right, and then from the fascia of the erector spine, from the fascia of the erector spine, which I cannot show you in this diagram, and the fascia covering the gluteus medius muscle. So this is the origin of the gluteus maximus muscle. So the gluteus maximus muscle, again I repeat it, from the posterior aspect of the iliac crest, and from the dorsal aspect of the ilium, behind the posterior gluteal line, and from the dorsal aspect of the lower part of the sacrum, and from the sacrotuberous ligament, and the fascia covering the gluteus maximus muscle, and the fascia covering the erector spinae muscle, right? So this is about the origin of the gluteus maximus muscle. So where is this gluteus maximus muscle? So this is the gluteus maximus muscle origin. And now coming to the insertion. So when you come to the insertion, the 25% of the fibers of gluteus maximus, they get inserted into the gluteal tuberosity. They get inserted into the gluteal tuberosity. How much it is? It is only 25% of the fibers. So is getting inserted into the gluteal tuberosity, whereas 75% of the gluteus maximus muscle will be inserted into the tract. What is this tract here? This tract, which is a modification of the D fascia, is the iliotibial tract. What is that called as? Iliotibial tract. And this iliotibial tract will get inserted into the Gerdy's tubercle, which is present in the tibia, which is present on the tibia. So where is the insertion? 25% is onto the femur, where? Into the gluteal tuberosity, which I am showing you with an arrow. And the 75% of the gluteus maximus muscle, they get inserted into the, which is on iliotibial tract. And this iliotibial tract is inserted, is attached to the Gerdy's tubercle present on the upper end of the tibia. Right? So this is about the origin and the insertion of the gluteus maximus muscle. Origin and insertion of the gluteus maximus muscle. Right? And now coming to the nerve supply of the gluteus maximus muscle. The nerve supply is by the inferior gluteal nerve. You just remember it, and then later I'll show you what are where is the inferior gluteal nerve. So this gluteus maximus, the is supplied by which nerve? Inferior gluteal nerve. Inferior gluteal nerve. Right? And then next, what is the other one? The gluteus maximus muscle. The gluteus maximus muscle gets the action of the gluteus maximus muscle. What is this? What is the action of the gluteus maximus muscle? It is a chief extensor of the hip joint. Chief extensor of the hip joint. And also the upper fibers of the gluteus maximus muscle, they help in abduction of the hip joint. They help in abduction of the hip joint. And the gluteus maximus muscle is a lateral rotator of the hip joint. Lateral rotation of the hip joint. Right? So what is the action of the gluteus maximus muscles? So it is a chief extensor of the hip joint, and the upper fibers of the gluteus maximus muscle help in abduction of the hip joint. And next one, it is also a lateral rotator. It is also a lateral rotator of the hip joint. And I told you 75% of the fibers of the gluteus maximus is getting inserted into the iliotibial tract. And through this iliotibial tract, it helps in extension of the knee joint. Through this iliotibial tract, it is helping in extension of the knee joint. So this is all about the gluteus maximus muscle. Are you understanding? Are you understanding the class? Please answer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So the gluteus maximus muscle has come as an essay question once, and also has come as a 5 marks question for you. Right? So this is the first question which we have already discussed. So once we cut this gluteus maximus muscle, we see the structures present below the gluteus maximus muscle. The first and the foremost muscle which you see below the gluteus maximus muscle is the gluteus medius muscle. Which is this muscle? Gluteus medius muscle. In the same manner, we should know where is the origin of the gluteus medius muscle. In between the posterior gluteal line and the anterior gluteal line on the dorsal surface of the ilium. In between the posterior gluteal line and the anterior gluteal line, which are present on the dorsum of the ilium. Right? So this is what? This is the gluteus medius muscle origin. And where is it inserted here? So the gluteus medius muscle is inserted into the lateral surface of the greater trochanter. So this is now I am speaking about the first muscle which is attached to the gluteus medius muscle. The first muscle which I am speaking now, the gluteus medius muscle is attached to the lateral surface on oblique line, lateral surface of the greater trochanter. So you know the origin of the gluteus medius muscle and the insertion of the gluteus medius muscle, right? And now, what is the nerve supply? The nerve supply is by the superior gluteal nerve. The nerve supply of gluteus medius muscle is superior gluteal nerve, right? And what is the action of it? So this gluteus medius muscle along with the gluteus minimus muscle, they help in medial rotation of the hip joint. They help with They help in medial rotation of the hip joint. Which what? Along with which muscle it is acting? Along the gluteus minimus muscle, and also one more muscle is helping in medial rotation. That is the tensor fasciae lata muscle. I'll tell you where is that it. Right? Tensor fasciae lata muscle. Right? So what is the action? Medial rotation of the hip joint, and then what else? The abduction of the hip joint, and also it is helping to stabilize the hip joint when you are walking. That I will tell you how it is and what it is. That is a very important question there, right? It is also helping in stabilizing the hip joint when you are walking, right? So these are the three actions of the gluteus medius muscle, right? Next, coming to the gluteus minimus muscle. So the same it is. See here, what is this one? The origin is from where? From the anterior gluteal line, in between the anterior gluteal line of the hip bone and the inferior gluteal line of the hip bone. Between the anterior gluteal line of the hip bone and the inferior gluteal line of the hip bone is the origin of the gluteus minimus muscle. Right? And where is it inserted? It is inserted into the anterior surface. Okay. It is inserted into the anterior surface of the greater trochanter. Anterior surface of the greater trochanter. Right? And now what is its nerve supply? The same nerve supply which is supply, that is the gluteus of the gluteus medius, that is the superior gluteal nerve. What is its action? The same action as if of gluteus medius. What is the action we have discussed already? That is the medial rotator and the abductor of the hip joint, and along with that stabilizes the hip joint while we are walking, right? So the gluteus medius muscle and the gluteus minimus muscle have the same nerve supply and the same action, and both are inserted into the greater trochanter. So we will see what is this muscle here. So you can see here. So you can see this diagram. So you can see this is the gluteus maximus muscle, and which is this muscle here? This is the gluteus. When you cut the gluteus maximus muscle, you can see here this is the gluteus medius muscle, and when you cut the gluteus medius muscle deep inside, you see the gluteus minimus muscle, right? So gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and gluteus minimus. So the gluteus maximus is supplied by inferior gluteal nerve, and the gluteus medius and minimus is supplied by the superior gluteal nerve, right? And what else? The gluteus maximus is a lateral rotator of the hip joint, whereas gluteus medius and minimus are the medial rotators of the hip joint, right? And moreover, all these three muscles help in abduction of the hip joint, right? So this is all about the gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and gluteus minimus. And what is the action of gluteus medius, and what is the antagonizing action between the gluteus maximus, medius, and minimus? The gluteus maximus helps in lateral rotation of the hip joint, whereas gluteus medius and minimus, they help in medial rotation, just opposite to the gluteus maximus, that is medial rotation of the hip joint. Are you understanding? Yes or no? Yes or no? Please answer.
Yes.
Right? So this is about gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. So even the gluteus maximus has come as an essay question for you. Even gluteus medius and minimus have been asked to you in your previous questions, because you know that the gluteus medius and minimus both are attached to the trochanter. One is attached to the lateral surface of the greater trochanter. The gluteus minimus is attached to the anterior surface of the greater trochanter. Both have the same nerve supply, that is the the superior gluteal nerve, and both have the same action, that is they are the lateral medial rotators of the hip joint, abductors of the hip joint, and also you have the same thing here. Moreover, they have they stabilizing when we are walking. They stabilize the hip bone when we are walking. So this is all about gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. Then coming to the other muscles, what are the other muscles? Now then you see here the other muscle here, that is the tensor fascia lata. Where is this one? This is the tensor fascia lata. So the tensor fascia lata is attached to, it is getting its origin from the outer surface or the outer lip of the iliac crest. You can see here the tensor fascia lata gets its origin from the outer lip of the iliac crest, right? And it is attached to the iliac crest, and inserted into the iliotibial tract. And where is this iliotibial tract inserted or getting attached to the Gerdy's tubercle of the tibia, right? And you can see there are two muscles which are getting inserted into the iliotibial tract. One is the tensor fascia lata, and the second one is what? The gluteus maximus muscle, right? And what is the action of this tensor fascia lata? Now supply from the superior gluteal nerve. They are getting their nerve supply from where? From the superior gluteal nerve. And moreover, this tensor fascia lata also helps in medial rotation of the hip joint. So there are only three muscles which are helping in medial rotation of the hip joint. What are those three muscles? Gluteus medius muscle, gluteus minimus muscle, and now the tensor fascia lata muscle. And since the tensor fascia lata muscle is inserted into the iliotibial tract along with the bigger muscle, the gluteus maximus muscle, and this also helps in extension of the hip joint. This also helps in one more action it has, that is the extension of the hip joint, right? So these are now what are the muscles we have studied? The gluteus maximus, the gluteus medius, the gluteus minimus, and now the tensor fascia lata muscle, right? So which are the three muscles which are helping in medial rotation of the hip joint? That is the gluteus medius muscle, gluteus minimus muscle, and the tensor fascia lata muscle, right? Now once we cut this gluteus maximus muscle, so what are the other muscles which we are going to see? The first and the important muscle and the key muscle in the gluteal region, which is the key muscle in the gluteal region? That is the piriformis muscle. What is this muscle? Piriformis muscle, right? So the piriformis muscle is the key muscle in the gluteal region. So where is the origin of the piriformis muscle? The origin is from the sacrum, right? From the sacrum, right? From the anterior aspect of the sacrum. Now, what is happening here? Once it is getting its origin from the sacrum, it is passing through the greater sciatic foramen. It is passing through the greater sciatic foramen to enter into the gluteal region. So now you see here the greater sciatic foramen and the lesser sciatic foramen. These are both the gateways to the gluteal region. So the structures entering from the pelvis have to enter into the gluteal region through this, either through the greater sciatic foramen or through the lesser sciatic foramen. So they are the gateways to the gluteal region, right? So the piriformis, which is getting its origin from the sacrum, goes and gets inserted into the tip of the greater trochanter. So still now we have studied three muscles which are getting inserted to the greater trochanter. One is the gluteus medius muscle, which is getting its insertion into the lateral surface of the greater trochanter. Gluteus minimus muscle, which is getting its insertion into the greater trochanter, into the anterior surface of the greater trochanter. And now the piriformis muscle, which is getting its insertion into the tip of the greater trochanter. Right? So, and I told you what else I told you about the piriformis muscle? This piriformis muscle is the key muscle in the gluteal region. Piriformis muscle is the key muscle in the gluteal region. And how is it entering into the gluteal region? Through the greater sciatic foramen. So what is the nerve supply? The nerve supply, since it is getting its origin within the pelvis itself or the sacrum, it is the ventral rami of S1 and S2. Ventral rami of S1 and S2. And what is the action of the piriformis muscle? It is the lateral rotator of the hip joint. Lateral rotator of the hip joint. So now which is the chief or the big muscle which is a lateral rotator of the hip joint? That is the first one is the gluteus maximus muscle, which is the lateral rotator of the hip joint. And now we are studying about the another muscle, the piriformis muscle, which is inserted into the tip of the greater trochanter, and this is also the lateral rotator of the hip joint, right? And then coming to the other muscles other than piriformis, what are the other muscles you see in the gluteal region? Then coming to the next one, the obturator internus muscle. What is this muscle? Obturator internus muscle. So where is this from? Where does this obturator internus muscle gets its origin? The obturator internus muscle gets its origin from the inner surface or the pelvic surface of the obturator membrane. Pelvic surface of the obturator membrane. Can I show you I'll show you in the diagram first of all. So where is this? Right. Obturator externus is present. This is obturator internus, right? So see this muscle. This is the pelvic surface of the obturator internus. So this muscle is getting it from the inner surface, the obturator membrane, and also from the iliopubic or this one ischiopubic rami and the ischium. So this is the origin of the obturator internus. Foramen and gets inserted into the medial surface of the greater trochanter. Medial surface of the greater trochanter. Medial surface of the greater trochanter. So the obturator internus gets its origin from the obturator membrane, pelvic surface of the obturator membrane, and from the pelvic surface of the ischium and the ischiopubic rami, and then this passes through the lesser sciatic foramen and gets inserted into the medial surface of the greater trochanter. Medial surface of what? Greater trochanter, right? So this is about the obturator internus muscle. This obturator internus muscle, where is this obturator internus muscle? I can show you in this diagram. So this is the obturator internus muscle. Obturator internus muscle. So this obturator internus muscle gets inserted into the medial surface of the greater trochanter. And what is the nerve supply of the obturator internus muscle? The nerve supply of the obturator internus muscle is nerve to obturator internus. Nerve to obturator internus. Right? And above this obturator internus muscle and below the obturator internus muscle, there are other two muscles. What are those two muscles? That is the gemelli superior and gemelli inferior. So this is the gemelli superior muscle. Gemelli superior muscle and the gemelli inferior muscle. Right? So the gemelli superior muscle gets its origin from the upper margin of the lesser sciatic notch. And the gemelli inferior muscle gets its origin from the lower margin of the lesser sciatic notch. And both these muscles along with the obturator internus muscle, they get inserted into the medial surface of the greater trochanter. They get inserted into the medial surface of the greater trochanter, right? So still now, what are the muscles we have seen? We have seen the gluteus maximus muscle. Once we have cut the gluteus maximus muscle, what are the muscles we have seen here? The gluteus medius muscle, the gluteus minimus muscle, and the key muscle in the gluteal region, the piriformis. And now we are discussing about the obturator internus muscle, the gemelli superior muscle, and the gemelli inferior muscle. The obturator internus muscle is getting its origin from the pelvic surface of the obturator membrane and the pelvic surface of the ischiopubic rami and the ischium. And this is passing through the lesser sciatic foramen, and along with this gemelli superior muscle and the gemelli inferior muscle, which are getting their origins from the upper and the lower margins of the lesser sciatic notch. All these three muscles get inserted onto the medial surface of what? Of the greater trochanter. Medial surface of the greater trochanter, right? So you can see here all the gluteus medius muscle is getting inserted to the greater trochanter. Gluteus minimus muscle is getting inserted into the greater trochanter. Piriform is getting inserted into the greater trochanter. The gemellae superior, the obturator internus, and the gemellae inferior. All these are getting inserted into the greater trochanter. And next muscle, a quadrate shaped muscle, which is present in the femoral compartment or the femoral region. What is that quadrate shaped muscle which is seen in the femoral region? That is none other than the quadratus femoris. None other than what? From the quadratus femoris. So this quadratus femoris muscle gets its origin from the outer or the external surface of the ischio or ischium, the external surface of the ischium, and gets inserted to where? Into the intertrochanteric crest, the quadrate tubercle, which is present in the middle of the intertrochanteric crest. Middle of the intertrochanteric crest, right? So how many muscles? The piriformis, the gemellae superior, the obturator internus, then the gemellae inferior, and the quadratus femoris. Quadratus femoris, right? And now, what is the now supply? The now to obturator internus muscle not only supplies the obturator internus, but also supplies the gemellae superior muscle. And what is the now supply to the quadratus femoris? The now to quadratus femoris muscle not only supplies the quadratus femoris muscle, but also supplies the gemellae inferior muscle. Gemellae inferior muscle, right? So this is about the origin. So what is the action? The piriformis, the gluteus maximus, the obturator internus, the gemellae superior, the gemellae inferior, all these muscles, and the quadratus femoris, all these muscles, they help in abduction of the hip joint, and also they help in lateral rotation of the hip joint. Lateral rotation of the hip joint. So I already told you there are only 3 muscles which are helping you in medial rotation of the hip joint. That is the gluteus medius muscle, the gluteus minimus muscle, and the tensor fascia lata. Tensor fascia lata muscle, right? And except these 3 muscles, other muscles which I have discussed or which I have studied now, all the other muscles, they help in lateral rotation of the hip joint along with the abduction of the hip joint, right? And then one more muscle, I cannot show you in this diagram, one more muscle which you find deeper to this strata is the obturator externus muscle, which will be getting its origin from where? From the external surface of the ischiopubic rami and the obturator externus or this obturator membrane. And this obturator externus muscle will insert it into the fossa, which is present on the medial aspect of the greater trochanter. So now if you discuss here the gluteus medius, the gluteus minimus, the piriformis, the gemellae superior, the obturator internus, the gemellae inferior, and the obturator externus, all these are getting inserted into the greater trochanter of femur. Greater trochanter of the femur. So the greater trochanter of the femur is also a 2 marks question for you, right? So this is all about the muscles which you find below the gluteal region. The muscles which you find in the below the gluteal region or gluteus maximus muscle, right? Are you understanding the class? Are you understanding the class?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the other structures or the nerves which you see when you're below the gluteus maximus muscle. So I'll explain to this diagram. So this is the gluteus maximus muscle. This is the gluteus medius muscle, the gluteus minimus muscle, the piriformis, the key muscle here, and the obturator, this is the gemellae superior, obturator internus, gemellae inferior, quadratus femoris, and what is this muscle which you have already studied in the adductor compartment? That is the adductor magnus muscle. Adductor magnus muscle, right? So now once we cut this gluteus maximus muscle, we have seen what are the muscles you see or the muscles you find below the gluteus maximus muscle. Now let us study about the nerves which you find when you cut, when you see, you see in the gluteal region once you cut the gluteus maximus muscle in the dissection, right? So now you see, I told you that the piriformis muscle is the key muscle in the gluteal region. Why piriformis muscle in this key muscle in the gluteal region? Now I will explain, right? So here you can see this is the greater sciatic foramen, and here this is the lesser sciatic foramen. So this greater sciatic foramen and the lesser sciatic foramen is formed by what? By two ligaments. What are those two ligaments? The sacrotuberous ligament and the sacrospinous ligament. We'll convert the greater sciatic notch and the greater sciatic foramen into greater sciatic notch and the lesser sciatic notch into greater sciatic foramen and the lesser sciatic foramen. So now we will see here. So the structures which are emerging through the from the upper border of the piriformis muscle is the, which is this artery? Superior gluteal artery. What is this artery? Superior gluteal artery. And you can see here the superior gluteal nerve. I already told you the superior gluteal nerve supplies three muscles, that is the gluteus medius, gluteus minimus, and one more muscle, that is the tensor fascia lata muscle, right? And moreover, you see the structures which are emerging below the piriformis muscle, which is the thickest nerve of our body. What is the thickest nerve of our body? That is the sciatic nerve. The sciatic nerve is again a special class for you. What is this nerve? The sciatic nerve. The sciatic nerve emerges through the lower border of the piriformis muscle, which I am showing you with an arrow. And medial to the sciatic nerve, there is one more nerve which is a cutaneous nerve. That is the posterior femoral cutaneous nerve, which is emerging from the lower border of the lower border of what? Lower border of the piriformis, right? And behind or below the sciatic nerve, you find one more nerve, that is the nerve to quadratus femoris. So the nerve to quadratus femoris muscle supplies the gemelli inferior muscle and the quadratus femoris muscle. Quadratus femoris muscle. And then the nerve which is emerging from the lower border of the piriformis muscle and supplying the gluteus maximus muscle. What is this now? This is the inferior gluteal nerve. The inferior gluteal nerve is emerging through the lower border of the piriformis, and it supplies where? It supplies the gluteus maximus muscle. And an artery is there along with this nerve. What is this artery? The inferior gluteal artery. Inferior gluteal artery. And you can see here there are three structures which are entering into the gluteal region through the greater sciatic foramen, and they are related to the dorsum of the ischial spine and again going back into the pelvis through the lesser sciatic foramen. What are these three structures? The three structures are called as the mnemonic for the three structures is the pin structures. What are the pin structures? The pudendal nerve. The pudendal nerve is emerging out through the entering into the gluteal region, related to the dorsum of this ischial spine, and again going back into the pelvic region into the pudendal canal through the lesser sciatic foramen. And along with the pudendal nerve, you find an artery, that is the internal pudendal artery. Right. And then along with that, you see the nerve to obturator internus. Nerve to obturator internus. So the nerve to obturator internus, it supplies the obturator internus muscle, and along with that the inferior gemelli muscle, right? So the three structures, the pudendal nerve, the internal pudendal artery, and the nerve to obturator internus. All these three structures, they are emerging out through the greater sciatic foramen, and again they are going back into the pelvis through the lesser sciatic foramen, right? So these are all the structures which you find the gluteus maximus muscle. So these structures under gluteus maximus muscle again has come as a essay question for you, right? And along with that, you find the ligaments. What are the ligaments under the cover of gluteus maximus? The sacrotuberous ligament and the sacrospinous ligament, right? And along with that, under the cover of the gluteus maximus, you see this ischial tuberosity. So the ischial tuberosity is also below the gluteus maximus muscle. So you see again in the next class you will be studying about the hamstring muscles. So when you study the hamstring muscles, you see that the origin of the hamstring muscles will be from the ischial tuberosity. So ischial tuberosity is also under the cover of the gluteus maximus muscle. And along with that, the greater trochanter of the femur. The greater trochanter of the femur is also under the cover of what? The gluteus maximus muscle. And along with that, you have the anastomosis, which we have already discussed when I was talking about the femoral artery. That is the cruciate anastomosis. Cruciate anastomosis, and the one more anastomosis is trochanteric anastomosis, which is taking part near the greater trochanter. So the cruciate anastomosis and the trochanteric anastomosis are also under the cover of the gluteus maximus muscle. So how can you remember all the structures under the cover of the gluteus maximus muscle? Is only one way, and that way is by practicing the diagram. That is the only one way, or the best way to learn the structures under the cover of the gluteus maximus muscle. Other than that, if you by heart, you will be forgetting within next day. Are you understanding? Right. So this is all about the structures under the gluteus maximus muscle. So still now what did we study? We have studied about the muscles in the gluteal region. And next what we have studied? We have studied the structures which are present under the cover of the gluteus maximus muscle. Have you understood the class? Have you understood the class? Please answer.
Yes, sir.
So again the same diagram which is here. The piriformis, the structures above the piriformis, the superior, since they are above the piriformis, the names are given it as superior gluteal nerve and superior gluteal artery. And these are in below the piriformis, that is why they are given as inferior gluteal artery and inferior gluteal nerve. And the pin structures, the pudendal nerve, the internal pudendal artery, and the obturator nerve. And the thickest cutaneous nerve, that is the sciatic nerve. And medial to it is the femoral cutaneous nerve of thigh. And behind it will be the nerve to quadratus femoris. Right? Then you see here, I told you that this gluteus medius muscle helps in stabilizing the hip joint when we are walking. Right? So you see here, when both the legs are on the ground. So the gluteus medius muscle, or this is on the right side and this is on the left side. So the gluteus medius muscle and the minimus muscle will help in stabilizing the joint when the leg. How to explain to you this one? Anyway, you see here. So this is when we are walking, there is a stance phase and swing phase. So stance phase, you see here, when you are lifting the leg, this is the right leg and this is the left leg. So when you are walking, when you are lifting the left leg upwards, so what will happen? Due to gravity, the pelvis of the side on which you have lifted the leg will sag downwards. Means it will draw, right? So because of that, what will happen? But then to prevent it, there should be a vector which is acting upwards. So how is the vector produced? It will be produced by the gluteus medius muscle and the minimus muscle of the opposite side. So if this gluteus medius muscle and the minimus muscle, gluteus medius muscle and the minimus muscle is paralyzed on the right side, then what will happen when you are walking during the swing phase? What will happen? The pelvis on the left side will sag downwards, and that is called as what? Trendelenburg's sign. That is called as what? Trendelenburg's sign, right? So are you understanding? And the patient walks with what type of gait? It is called as lurching gait. It is called as what? Lurching gait. So have you understood, or should I explain to you once more about the Trendelenburg sign and the lurching gait? For everything you are giving a thumbs up, please, because this was a question which has come for 2 marks in the previous paper. Have you understood this one? Please answer. Please answer. Have you understood?
సార్ ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ చెప్పండి తెలుగులో.
సో తెలుగులో చెప్పమంటావు, రైట్? సో ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఇది రైట్ సైడ్ గ్లూటియస్ మీడియస్, గ్లూటియస్ మినిమస్. ఇది లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ గ్లూటియస్ మీడియస్, గ్లూటియస్ మినిమస్. సో ఈ రెండు ఏం చేస్తున్నాయి? ఈ రెండు పెల్విస్ ని స్ట్రైట్ లైన్ లో పెడుతున్నాయి. సో అంటే స్ట్రైట్ గా ఉంటున్నాయి, బికాస్ యూ కెన్ సీ దట్ హియర్, రైట్? బట్ మనం నడిచేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? ఈ లెఫ్ట్ లెగ్ కానీ రైట్ లెగ్ కానీ ఎత్తేటప్పుడు అప్పుడు కూడా ఈ పెల్విస్ ని కరెక్ట్ పొజిషన్ లో ఉంచాలి. అదే ఇట్ షుడ్ బి ఇన్ ఏ ఇట్ షుడ్ బి స్టెబిలైజ్డ్. సో ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? ఇప్పుడు లెఫ్ట్ లెగ్ పైకి ఎత్తేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? ఎత్తేటప్పుడు ఈ సైడ్ లో, ఈ లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ పెల్విస్ కిందకి వస్తుంది. దాని తెలుగులో ఏమంటారో తెలియదు, ఏమంటారు? దేర్ విల్ బి సాగింగ్ డౌన్ ఆఫ్ ది పెల్విస్ టువర్డ్స్ ద డౌన్వర్డ్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ది గ్రావిటీ, రైట్? సో అది జరగకుండా ఏం చేస్తుంది? ఈ రైట్ సైడ్ గ్లూటియస్ మీడియస్, రైట్ సైడ్ గ్లూటియస్ మినిమస్ ఏం చేస్తాయి? ఇటువైపు పుల్ చేస్తాయి పెల్విస్ ని. సో దానివల్ల మళ్ళీ ఏమవుతుంది? దానివల్ల మా పెల్విస్ పొజిషన్ లో ఉంటాయి. ఒకవేళ రైట్ సైడ్ గ్లూటియస్ మీడియస్ మజిల్ లేకపోతే రైట్ సైడ్ గ్లూటియస్ మినిమస్ మజిల్ పారలైజ్ అయితే, దేనివల్ల? బికాస్ దే ఆర్ సప్లైడ్ బై విచ్ నర్వ్? సుపీరియర్ గ్లూటియల్ నర్వ్. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? వెన్ యు ఆర్ వాకింగ్, what will happen? The left side pelvis will sag downwards, will dip downwards because of the gravity. అర్థమవుతుందా? సో అప్పుడు అలాంటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? ఆ పేషెంట్ ఎలా నడుస్తాడు? కాళ్ళని ఈడ్చుకుంటూ నడుస్తాడు, రైట్? సో దాన్ని ఏమంటారు? ఆ గెయిట్ ని, ఆ సైన్ ఏమంటారు? సాగింగ్ డౌన్వర్డ్స్ ఆఫ్ ది పెల్విస్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ది paralysis of the muscles of right side gluteus medius and minimus muscles is called as Trendelenburg sign, and the gait is called as lurching gait. That gait is called as lurching gait. అర్థమైందా? చెప్పాలా? సో అర్థమైందా? చెప్పాలా?
అర్థమైంది.
సో ఏమవుతున్నాయి? గ్లూటియస్ మీడియస్ ఇదేం చేస్తుంది? రైట్ సైడ్ గ్లూటియస్ మీడియస్, రైట్ సైడ్ గ్లూటియస్ మినిమస్ మజిల్ లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ పెల్విస్ ని కింద పడిపోకుండా, కిందకి జారిపోకుండా చూస్తున్నాయి. ఇన్ ద సేమ్ మేనర్ వైస్ వెర్సా, అంటే లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ గ్లూటియస్ మీడియస్, మినిమస్ మజిల్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాయి? రైట్ సైడ్ యొక్క పెల్విస్ ని నడిచేటప్పుడు కిందకి జారిపోకుండా చూస్తున్నాం. అండ్ జారిపోవడాన్ని ఏమంటారు? సాగింగ్ ఆఫ్ ది పెల్విస్, రైట్? సో ఒకవేళ రైట్ సైడ్ గ్లూటియస్ మీడియస్ మజిల్, మినిమస్ మజిల్ పారలైజ్ అయితే, there will be sagging of the pelvis of the left side gluteus medius and left side pelvis, left side, and then the condition is called as what? Trendelenburg sign. And the gait, ఆ నడిచే గెయిట్ ని ఏమంటారు? the gait ని లర్చింగ్ గెయిట్ అంటారు. సో గ్లూటియస్ మీడియస్ మినిమస్ మజిల్ మీకు క్వశ్చన్ కింద వస్తే ఏం చేయాలి? యూ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్ అబౌట్ ద ఆరిజిన్, ఇన్సర్షన్, nerve supply by the superior gluteal nerve, and then what is the action? The action is, it is a medial rotator of the hip joint and helps in abduction of the hip joint. And ఈ మూడోది very important, that is the Trendelenburg. They help in stabilizing the hip joint while walking. And దాంతో పాటు ఏం చెప్పాలి? You should also discuss about this Trendelenburg sign, and also you should write about the lurching gait. Then only your answer is complete. Antavaraku you will not be, it will be half answered, right? So this is all about the gluteus medius and minimus and the Trendelenburg sign and also the lurching gait, right? So this is all about the structures under the gluteus medius muscle. So there are many questions which have come from today's class. So the questions again I repeat it, which have come. Gluteus maximus has come as an essay question for you once, and a short notes question for you once. Gluteus medius and minimus muscle, just now I told you the importance of this. And then the next one is the greater trochanter, has come as a 2 marks question for you, or 3 marks question for you. And then the structures under the cover of gluteus maximus have come as a essay question for you. And also iliotibial tract, which we have discussed, has also come as an essay question for you. Or not essay question, as a 5 marks question for you. All these questions have come from today's class. So please don't leave this topic because it is an important one. And thank you.
Thank you, sir.